Hey folks. So, uh, if any of you have been paying attention to the world news right now, all this stuff happening, particularly between China, Russia, and the BRICS alliance, pretty much all getting ready to attempt to overthrow the US dollar, which is our currency, and all the suffering that that's going to fucking cause. Um, Pretty much get ready for conflict. Get ready for what appears to be right now unavoidable conflict. The world is getting ready to spiral out of control even further. There is about to be new suffering taking place. And it looks like nobody is going to try to step in and stop the situation from getting any fucking worse. But this is what we are. This is what we are dealing with right now. The world is irrevocably shit. The whole planet is just fucking trash, and the suffering is just steadily on the rise. And we don't have much time left before it eventually does hit the fan and everything goes to utter shit. I don't know what happens at that point. I don't know where we go from there, if we go anywhere. But it's a really deeply disturbing feeling to have to sit and watch these developments take place all over the world and how they directly affect all of us in some way. And then to still see the glib mockery of people describing how they look forward to having their kids, or seeing people praise pregnancy even still. I mean, you have these people wandering around still planning on having children and bringing them into this shit so that they can possibly enjoy World War III and whatever other fucking crisis that's about to happen or bound to happen at whatever time in the very, very near future. And it's beyond frustrating to see it, because at what point do you all finally understand that the harms that you are gearing up to inflict on your child is going to be very severe? It's going to be very severe. They're not, I hate to say this, but if I'm going to be very honest with you, they're not going to have the kind of future you think they're going to have. That's out the window. We are on an unavoidable crash course. The shit is getting ready to fully hit the fan, and nobody knows what happens from there. You are really playing a very dangerous game. If you're listening to this right now and you are contemplating having children, you are really contemplating an act of terror. As a matter of fact, I'm to the point now where I think anybody who is planning to or having children right now is a fucking terrorist. You are terrorizing your child by bringing them into an environment like this that is not going to change unless it's for the worse. Because that's pretty much what human history has been, a complete set of endless problems, conflicts, and woes that are never going to be resolved. Your child won't be the promised Messiah to save the world. Stop keeping that fucking dumb fantasy in your mind. It's not going to happen. You are intentionally going to throw your child into a world where they don't have any choice but to suffer the worst of the worst because you want a goddamn mini-me so bad that you can't even concentrate to see what you are doing to them. It's a crime. It's a really sick, disgusting crime. If you can sit and watch the world spiral the way it is right now and think your child is going to somehow enjoy this and make the best out of it, you're delusional. You're delusional. You're putting a bet that your kid is going to enjoy war and suffering and economic turmoil that we haven't seen since World War I, II. And you think that's going to be a great time for your kid to enjoy? You think that's just going to be a marvelous thing they can just sweep away and forget about? This is a very risky game you people are playing. And me and other antinatalists, we've just been trying to warn you people that what you are doing is criminal. It's sadistic. It's cruelty. It's selfish cruelty. I mean, they are really gearing up for a double war. If my estimation is right from what I'm looking at here, there could be conflict on multiple fronts between the United States, China, and Russia simultaneously. And that's going to obviously drag in more of our allies and their allies. World War III. We are so close to calamity that it's mind-numbingly sickening. Even when I just look at the reports, I just sit back and get sick to my fucking stomach because this is the world we have to deal with. And the worst part about this is there's no easy way out. So while you're sitting here pretending in your delusional minds that your kid is going to somehow enjoy La La Land because you think everything is just going to be perfectly fine and we'll all get along and sing Kumbaya, or there'll be world peace, or your kid's going to solve the future, you're fucking stupid. You're stupid, you are cruel, you are selfish, you are inconsiderate to put a child into an environment like this and then pretend to expect the best. Because what you want a mini-me, you want a family. I want. I don't give a damn what the kids are going to face. I don't give a damn that they're going to have to suffer through this shit. At least I'll have my mini-me. I mean, I don't even know what to say about it anymore. I mean, because, there's only so much we can say to the point where you've exhausted words. And I feel like that's where we are now. How many more times do we have to make videos and drag this along, telling you people, showing you the goddamn obvious, and you still ignore it? So maybe you people want to see your kids suffer. Maybe you want to see them go through the worst of the worst. Maybe you just don't give a shit that they're going to have to do that. So yes, I think it's very appropriate to call you terrorists at that point, because that's what you are. You're terrorizing your own children in the hope of a grandiose future that's not coming. They're not going to make the world a better place. You know how many times people have been born with the expectation of them making the world a better place? There is no promised Messiah coming to save the world. There just isn't. Your kids are going to be the one, and neither is anybody else. This is a shitstorm that nobody has a solution to. Your government doesn't have a solution to it. None of us do. Because this is the unavoidable. It's going to happen. Whether it was going to happen today, tomorrow, a few years down the line, it was always going to happen. Why? Because human nature is inherently deficient. It is flawed. It is flawed. And the world that we live in is inherently flawed as well. This is nature playing out on a sophisticated level. This is natural cruelty. This is man-made cruelty. It's cruelty the whole way around, you see. So the best bet is to acknowledge the reality that we find ourselves in and stop the problem. It's like, think of your basement. Maybe let's say you have a leak, right? And your water pipe is constantly leaking. It's flooding your whole basement. And you wander around the living room thinking, I wonder how we can probably solve this problem. I know, let's do something with the roof. Mind you, the problem was there. The solution to the problem was right in your face, which was to plug the hole in the pipe. And unfortunately, humanity doesn't see that's the ultimate salvation for all of this. We need to plug the spigot. Because right now the spigot is constantly pouring out water into this unending flood of suffering and misery, and humanity refuses to turn it off. The answer to the problem, according to humanity, is to dump more people at it. Create more suffering, create more death, create more constant woes and needs that don't have to exist. It's mind-numbingly stupid to be a part of the human species, and I really fucking hate it. As a matter of fact, most of the time I don't even refer to myself as a human being. I know that sounds crazy, but why would I want to? This species is clueless. Every day I find something that just backs me up further and further and further on the point that this is an unwinnable game. This is a bad deal. And we are all trapped in it for the long haul. The world is running off the cliffs, and unfortunately, we don't have a way to snap our fingers and get out of here. The ones that have any sense, that want to actually leave, we don't have that ability. The undead are producing babies, and they're dragging the rest of us along with them in their delusional la-la land of let's just have more kids and pretend everything is fine. The living dead, that's pretty much what I compare humanity to. Because it's just so ridiculous. The solution is right there in our face, and humanity will not ever acknowledge it. So they're going to choose the worst way possible to go out. They're going to choose suffering over a gradual phasing out. They're going to choose constant problems. They're going to choose the continuation of needless births and deaths for nothing. Even when the worst of the worst is happening, I guarantee you there is somebody doing the do, having their sex mindlessly, not giving a shit about what's happening in the world, and they're going to force another baby into the situation because they just don't give a shit. They're like wild animals. They don't think. They don't think about the situation. They don't think about the predicament. All they think about is their sexual gratification. And therefore, oh, oops, there's a baby. Oops, sorry. You're going to have to face this shit and suffer and die. But mommy and daddy loves you. Oops. It's fucking idiotic. And if nothing can open your eyes right now to the point of how dumb that is, I don't have anything to say. Just sit back and watch the shit get worse, because it's going to. And for my anti-natalists out there, for my Gnostic folks, the ones that actually understand what's really happening here, I wish that I could snap my fingers and save all of us. I wish I could just snap my fingers and get us the hell out of here. Because I genuinely hate when anti-natalists have to go through these sufferings too. Of all the people who are trying to stop it, we're the ones trying to stop the shit, and yet we still have to get stuck in this crazy shit show. It's so infuriating. But anyway, I really hope the best for all of us. And, I just don't know where the shit's headed, but I mean, good luck to all of us is all I can say.